Hello and welcome to NJBIZ Conversations. I'm your host, Jeff Kanige. My guest today is Adam Perle. He is the president and CEO of ArtPride New Jersey. It's an organization that promotes and advocates for the arts in the state. Adam, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. Now, I want to talk about how arts fit into the broader economy. Obviously, we have a business audience, but first, I just gave a really sort of thumbnail sketch of the organization. It'd be if you could explain to our viewers what ArtPride New Jersey is, what it's all about, what do you do, what should viewers know about your organization?
Absolutely, be my pleasure. So ArtPride New Jersey is actually a nonprofit arts organization. We're what's known as an arts service organization. Some of your listeners might know us more commonly as a trade association.
Okay.
We represent arts and culture across the entire state. So we promote arts across the state, really about, really highlighting the public value of the arts around enhancing the quality of life, education, and economic vitality. We also run a major program that I hope we'll have an opportunity to talk about today, Discover Jersey Arts, which is about letting folks across New Jersey and from outside of New Jersey know about opportunities across the state. So we do advocacy and public policy, we do audience development, and then we also do professional development where we're supporting folks that work for arts organizations, artists, creative workers, and then we do a bit of research as well. So those are a few of the things that ArtPride New Jersey does. And we represent the entire state, all corners of the state, all things arts and culture, profit, nonprofit, from volunteer and educational, all the way to the largest anchor institutions.
Okay, well, I wanted to get into a little bit of that as well. But first, I also understand that you have an enhanced online presence now with a new at least section of your website. What's that all about? What can you tell us?
Absolutely. So I mentioned Discover Jersey Arts, which is a program of ArtPride New Jersey, which is really about letting folks know what's going on in New Jersey arts. We have a brand new website. We have a brand new look for the first time in 20 plus years. We're running a huge campaign across the state. So your listeners may see us on billboards and train stations when they're streaming things with our new slogan, "You got to be there." And so we're really encouraging folks to go to the website if they haven't already, to jerseyarts.com, and set up a free My Jersey Arts account where they can personalize what they're interested in, what types of things they want to go see, where they are, and we can send them information about what's going on. We can send them discounts, and as well on that website, and there's a huge directory. We also put out a number of feature stories where there are podcasts just like this one, as well as written blogs and video features, again, about things that are happening across the state. So we want folks to go there, sign up so that we can make sure we're informing them along the year at jerseyarts.com.
Okay, jerseyarts.com. Well, you won't have to remember that. We'll put it in the post with this video, so it will be right there. Okay, so I'll get back to Discover Arts in a second, but I do want to talk about business because I've read some estimates, I think from your organization, about the economic impact of the arts in the state of over $500 million in the state's economy and more than 10,000 jobs. I'm curious about where those numbers come. What goes into that? What kind of activities are we talking about?
Absolutely. So the numbers that you're talking about, the $500,000, $532 million in economic impact, and about 9,500 jobs, is actually, Jeff, only the nonprofit arts sector in the state, which is just a piece of the larger arts and cultural sector. Those numbers come from a study called Arts and Economic Prosperity 6. ArtPride New Jersey does that in conjunction with a national organization that's much like ours called Americans for the Arts. 6 times we've done it, hence the name of the study. And so we have statewide numbers as well as 12 counties and a municipality that also directly participated and did some local gathering. And these are economic numbers that are actually picked up by visitor surveys as folks are leaving arts events. And we're really talking about economic impact and really tracking what that economic impact looks beyond the ticket price, looks beyond what you pay when you go into the venue. So what are you paying for childcare coverage? What are you paying for parking? What are you paying at a restaurant before the show, a drink or ice cream after the show? What are you paying when you go to, a festival at Wheaton and you spend the rest of the day in Millville and Glassboro and that, in South Jersey. And so really looking at what that looks like from a nonprofit sector. So those are your Count Basie Center for the Arts and NJ PACs and your NJ Ballets and Montclair Film Festivals and Cirque Light Theaters, and I'll go on and on. Grounds for Sculpture. You're gonna have to stop me. But those are the nonprofit arts organizations that we all know and love and what their economic impact is.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk about that more, but I think
Well, then,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yes, because then the question becomes the wider economic impact. If you take the nonprofit sector and add the for-profit sector for theaters and production and things like that, I'm guessing that the economic impact is even greater.
Right, and so that number that we talk about is actually, much more significant. You're talking about 21, billion dollars in 27 billion dollars in economic impact and 138,000 plus jobs. Those numbers that we usually talk with elected officials and the public about, those actually come from the government. That's from the United States Bureau of Economic Analysis. What
Okay,
they do is they do an arts and culture satellite account where they take the I love that I can talk about this on an NJBIZ podcast. They take the NAICS codes, right,
right,
from creative businesses. So that could be, we've had a number of film productions, very, covered film productions here in the
right.
state,
Mhm.
biopics on Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan alone in the last few months. So those are film and TV production. That is, yes, the for-profit venues that are across the state, the big ones like the PNC, and the Borgata Music Box, but as well Stone Pony, the White Eagle Hall, the See Here Now Music
Right,
Festival, and as well some of the more creative work areas. So something like a graphic designer would be captured in that as well. And so that's a
okay.
much larger economic impact when you think about those nonprofit arts organizations, as well as some of the other organizations. And that Bureau of Economic Analysis is also doing, a separate methodology, a more umbrella methodology.
Okay. Yeah, I asked that because I think a lot of folks, when they think about the arts, they think, oh well, it makes things look nice, but there actually is it's a critical component of the state's economy. All of these things, as you said, and we're going to get into a little bit of that, some of those other things too. But this is more than just nice paintings on a wall or a statue in front of a building.
Absolutely. And look, we're very lucky here in the state, no matter where you live in the state, no matter, how you view the state, or what your argument is on, is there not a central Jersey? But if you're north, central, south, west, shore, deep South Jersey, there's arts everywhere in the state. We're very lucky to that effect. And so, really there's a great opportunity, that economic opportunity across, every area of the state. And yes, it goes beyond that intrinsic value that we get from experiencing a painting, from watching a children's production, from seeing our favorite artist, visit the state at their stop on the tour. It has impact on our communities when it comes to community development. It has impact on our children when it comes to education. It has impact on our veterans, on healthcare, on tourism. The arts are a fabric, part of the fabric of our lives as daily New Jerseyans.
Okay, and I don't mean to put aside the aesthetic considerations because that is a big part of what a lot of developers are doing in the state. I mean, the couple that come immediately in mind are what's going on in the Jersey City waterfront and some of the things that are happening in Newark, where developers look to the local communities for artists to try to to enhance the experience that people have when they're using these developments. So I don't. I mean, that's an important part of the equation here. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's part of what we call creative placemaking. So it's not just the visual piece of it, but it's how do the artists, the arts organizations, the public art, how is that all intertwined with how a community is developing itself? And we even see in some places, in some municipalities across the state, where there's a statute. So that says, if a private developer comes in and they're doing a project, X% of what they're doing, has to go towards art, to make sure and then that has to
Right.
be, really can't be a standalone, right? It has to be intertwined with what's going on in the community.
Okay. Now, you mentioned also the television and film production. That's a huge point of emphasis for the Murphy administration. The state's very proud of its efforts to do that, and are clear about what they think the economic impact is. I'm curious though, what are the knock-on effects for the arts community? I mean, obviously, if you're employing camera people and costume people and set designers, I mean that's gotta be a real boon for the arts community itself. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And while there aren't exact studies on what we're talking about here, it's clear that this is an area of growth for the state of New Jersey when we look at the for-profit or commercial, however, whatever rhetoric you want to use, part of the arts community. So it started, yes, and very much thankful for Governor Murphy, who is one of, if not the most pro-arts governor we've ever had in the state of New Jersey. After his tenure, him and Governor Kane can have a debate about who wears that particular crown. But no, absolutely, a vision by his administration that has come to fruition, and we're seeing that really come to bear. But beyond just the film productions and the television productions that are happening, we're now seeing the long-term investment of film and TV studios
Right.
across the state, and that is going to be really crucial to what we have moving forward for New Jersey. Jobs, opportunities, exposure for the state, all of these are positives for New Jersey.
Right, and again, almost certainly will enhance the arts community if you're attracting those kinds of people.
Absolutely, it will attract folks, and it really is something that's unique for what New Jersey's doing. And because these is not an idea, this is not a concept. This is, there's shovels in the ground. This is really happening. I think we're very excited about what's to come.
Okay. Now, the flip side of some of this, though, the government promoting these kinds of things, arts funding tends to be on the chopping block quite a bit, and especially during the pandemic, funding was very scarce. I can remember talking to folks who were running arts organizations back then, how difficult, under the best of circumstances, things are difficult. Under those circumstances, they were really terrible. We've got a couple of elections coming up. There's a lot of uncertainty now. How concerned are you about the scarcity of funding and the commitment that some of the state organizations have toward promoting the arts in New Jersey?
Absolutely. So something that we're always keeping an eye on at ArtPride New Jersey is how the public institutions are funding nonprofit arts organizations and supporting arts across the state. We're very lucky here in the state of New Jersey. The governor and his administration, the legislative leadership, as well as a number of arts champions across both houses of legislature. There's really, truly bipartisan support for the arts in the state of New Jersey, and that's led to historic appropriations for the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, as well as some of those other entities that are in that funding, the Cultural Trust, New Jersey Historical Commission, New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism. So really feel very very fortunate. It doesn't come without effort, without a lot of conversations, without a lot of education. But I would say that the folks that make these decisions at the state level definitely understand what we've been talking about, the value of the arts to our lives in so many different ways here in the state of New Jersey. Yes, there will be a new governor, and who that remains to be is a different conversation for a different podcast. But we will continue to talk to the folks that look like there will be a lot of the names that are out there already, that are whether they've announced or where it's speculation, are folks that have a pro arts background in whatever their previous position might be. The other part of it is the National Endowment for the Arts, right? So always keeping an eye on that as well. And again, we'll based off the timing of this podcast, we'll see what that looks like. But something always to keep an eye on, and like you said, something that's always on the chopping block. The good news is that there has been support. There was support at the federal level. There's support at the state level coming out of the pandemic. And there's an understanding that arts organizations were some of the hardest organizations hit, some of the first organizations to go down, the last to come back up. And that road to recovery is still happening now. But we're, again, very thankful for the support and looking to make sure that continues.
Okay, fair enough. What is that? You mentioned a bunch of different organizations, and I mean, I think our viewers probably know. I mean, I'm in Morris County. We have the Mayo Center for the Performing Arts in Morristown. I mean, everybody's in several museums. There's a lot going on. I'm curious about what the community is like. Again, we're talking about scarce resources. It would be sort of human nature to be a little bit competitive. How closely do you all work together? I mean, do you get together like for lunch every once in a while and just sort of chat about what's going on in the arts in New Jersey, or how do you get along? What's the relationship among some of the kinds of organizations you're talking about?
Absolutely is the answer. So the arts and cultural sector is very close knit, particularly I would say amongst the nonprofit arts organizations. But since the pandemic, the for-profit arts organizations have definitely got more involved around things like advocacy. But absolutely, whether it's professional development conferences or whether it's having communities of practice, which we have, it's absolutely a tight-knit community. So yes, sometimes does one performing arts center compete against another performing arts center to attract a particular artist? Absolutely. But at the same time, we understand that our future is a collective future, and we need to be able to work together, whether that's banding together for research, whether that's banding together for advocacy, whether that's banding together for professional development. It happens all the time, much like we see in a number of different industries across the state. There's healthy competition, but there's a shared interest.
Okay. And arts education, we talk a lot about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and a lot of folks now add A for arts to that to make it STEAM. Is that really where an appreciation for the arts has to start in when kids are just learning? I mean, I'm guessing you're going to say that arts education is vitally important to your organization and to the vitality of the arts in New Jersey. Yes.
Not just, yes, but not just to the vitality of the arts in New Jersey. Arts education is important to the vitality of our entire community, our entire society. The lessons learned in early childhood development through arts have been unanimously researched as positive. Whether you become a painter or a CEO or a pharmaceutical, pharmaceutical analyst, whatever your job might be, what you learn from being exposed to creativity early on is unparalleled. And here in New Jersey, we're very lucky about the exposure that our students get across the state. We're one of usually ranked, if not the top, in the top 2 or 3, 4 states in the country when it comes to arts education. But it is vitally important, and survey and research after research after research proves what those benefits do for education, and how folks who are exposed to creativity do better in testing, do better academically, do better professionally.
Okay, excellent. And before I let you go, tell me about Discover Jersey Arts. This October, as I recall, if I recall correctly, was Discover Jersey Arts Month. We're at the end of October now, so you can do a postmortem about how it went. What was it all about? How did it go? And what did you get out of it?
Absolutely. So yes, October, as usual, the governor made a proclamation to make it Discover Jersey Arts Month. It's also National Arts and Humanities Month. That's part of what we do it in conjunction with. But it's not just October. October was just a jumping off point for us,
Okay.
To be able to really showcase the NJBIZarts.com. And really what it allows folks to do is have personalized recommendations around the arts. So if you're a ballet lover in Morris County, you can have some information that's sent to you that's a little more personalized for that. If you live in South Jersey and you're more of a live music person, then you can make sure that those recommendations are sent into that way. But it allows you to explore, whether it's based off of destinations, our Jersey Arts road trip. But we just want to encourage folks to go there to jerseyarts.com, sign up for My Jersey Arts account. It's free. Basically, you're just going to give us some contact information and tell us what you like. And we're going to get you those personalized recommendations. We're going to send you exclusive discounts. We're going to send you information about what's going on across the state. What we know is that New Jerseyans are better off when they experience the arts together, that the arts open our eyes to new perspectives, new ideas, and that we become better community members when we interact with each other through the arts. And that's really what we're trying to focus on long-term for our state.
Okay, well, that's a good place to leave it. Adam Perle, President and CEO of ArtPride New Jersey, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time. And I hope you'll come back at some point and talk more about this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.